All right, welcome back to another episode of Motor View. I'm your host, Nick Steven. I thought I would just give you guys an update on the last couple years of my life because a lot of things have changed. And it's been a while since I've posted anything on the channel, which I do apologize, but I will share with you all kind of everything that I went through along these last 2 years. To start with, as you all know, maybe that I'm still in the service, I had a complete job change. I stopped doing my old job, which was a police officer in the military, and I transitioned into an air control squadron. So that's a complete cross-train in the military, and it takes a long time, especially you have to go through all the training again. So that took a good chunk of time. Right after I had, finished building the Camaro Z01, and I had to put off a lot of things that I wanted to film and shoot when I was still in New Mexico. After that training, I had moved our entire family. It was a continental move across to Europe, which is where we are now. So stationed here now in Italy, and unfortunately, due to that move, right after I had built the car, shortly thereafter, the Z01 had to go. So there was going to be no opportunities to sell it and try to recoup some money. All right, I had to change memory cards on my FX3 over there. So there was no opportunities to sell the Z01 in Europe because of some restrictions. At the time, the used car market sales were spiking due to that whole chip shortage that was going on. So what that did was provide an opportunity for me to sell the car and recoup some of the performance parts that I had dropped into it. So that was good. I decided to take up that opportunity there and see the car to some other owner who would take care of it there in the States. So since arriving here, of course, we have two young boys, so they've been keeping us busy. And I've kind of taken a shift from videos a little bit because there really isn't a whole lot to do with filmmaking out here, not to mention that I'm also busy with work and traveling, which is where I would like to take a lot of my filming with me. It's just not happening right now. So what I've done is kind of switch to work more on my photography, and I'm doing a lot of portrait shooting and some street photography and stuff like that when I start to travel more. One of the newest additions to the lineup, very excited to be an owner of the FujiX100VI, and this thing I've already taken it with me everywhere I go since I got it, and it's just amazing. I'll have to do a review with it shortly, but I know this is kind of one of those hot commodities that everybody is looking for right now, which you can find videos already with specs and people doing stuff on YouTube. But it's just kind of my point and shoot, APS-C, great quality, high megapixels, kind of like my A7R2. And it's a lot lighter weight. It does have the fixed lens, which is a little bit of a sacrifice, but that's okay. Still shoots great photos. And then right now I'm shooting on my Osmo Pocket 3, so I'll do a little clip of that, maybe some updates, but this thing is awesome too. Very good, lightweight gimbal, and it's what I'm shooting on right now. So I'll give you guys some updates on the Camaro, the 68 Camaro SS that I still have. It's with me here in Italy, and it's been going through its rebirth, and if you want to call it a rebirth. But some other projects I've had on the side, I've been working a little bit with my stand-up jet ski I have here. I'll do some clips of that. Been breaking down the motor, and I have a friend taking a lot of the parts, getting sandblasted because I don't have a blaster here. So a lot of those parts, those engine parts, are getting blasted and kind of refurbished, and I'll paint those a nice color. But over here to my side here is my 1986 Kawasaki 550 stand-up jet ski. So I got this from my mother, who was previously married to this guy, and his son had it, so it was kind of like my brother by marriage. He ended up selling it to me for very cheap because he wasn't doing anything with it, and my famous quote is, "I've always wanted X, Y, Z." This was one of them. So always wanted a stand-up jet ski, and it kind of, the opportunity came to me. So I ended up getting it from him and slowly started, working through it. But it looks to be in decent shape, and I'm just working through doing some stuff on the side. Because when I do work on the Camaro here in Europe, you guys may not know, but it is hard to source parts. Everything has to come, everything for the Camaro here, for a classic car, has to come from the US. There are no manufacturers over here, which some of you may already know. So things take time to order, and they also importing, so things take time to order, and also importing is something that is done by most, let's say, Italians here, Europeans. They have to import everything from the US into Europe. And that's VAT taxes, import fees, all that, which I don't really have to do right now because I still have my military box, so I can ship a little bit more freely than they can. But soon I'll be transitioning out of the military and living in Europe full time, which my 68 Camaro will stay with me. So I'll have to venture into doing all that later, which is not going to be fun. So do some updates on my 68. The Camaro's sitting out in an overhang right outside my garage because I have no space in my garage for basically anything else. And yeah, I'll do some little clips here on the Kawasaki. Other than that, that's pretty much all I've been doing the last couple years, and the time flew by. I'm not gonna lie, it did. So that's what happens when you have kids and you move continents and change jobs, and time just flies. But hey, I'm happier for the job change, and we're back in Europe, which is where we wanted to be with our family. So appreciate you all hanging in with me and sticking around on the channel, and I'm gonna be putting more content up here soon. So let me go ahead and get into doing some of the updates with the jet ski and the Camaro. All right, so here is the 86 Kawasaki 550 stand-up. Here's the motor, little two-stroke, two-cylinder. It's more or less stripped down to the heads here. You can see that the pistons there have gone through it. So we'll probably do some head work and send a buddy all that in the States to machine and get some new pistons. Everything else looks to be pretty solid. It is pretty grody in here. I think I found a dead mouse at one point, but it's been sitting around. So a lot of these things, I mean, this thing's going to go through an overhaul with getting replaced. This is the new electrical box that I purchased, and it came from a company called Jet Ski Solutions, I believe. I think they're at Cumming, Georgia. They got a website, and I think I spoke to a guy named Corey on there, but they have a website online, and it was very easy to work with them and get that shipped out to replace my old box, which is here, because yeah, that thing, yeah, looks salvageable. So I'll keep it around for some spare parts or something. New battery. This is the I don't know, the cover shield for, I don't know what that part is. You guys might know, but still learning everything because I don't know all the parts with these jet skis. This is the Mikuni carburetor. Mikuni, if I pronounce that right. Doing a little rebuild with that, with all the gaskets and everything. Probably not going to change it out, just try to use it. And starter, I thought at one point my starter was bad because once I put new gas in, and when the motor was together, I put gas in and put the electrical box on, tried to start it, and the starter was kind of just stuttering. So I thought it might have been an issue, but I took it out, tested it with its battery, and it works just fine. Granted, it's not under load when I did test it, but I did notice on the flywheel, when I took the starter off right down in here, in that little hole down there where the starter goes, you can see the teeth for the flywheel. It didn't have teeth missing, but it did have some shavings off of it, so my guess is the starter was probably turned on maybe a couple times or a handful of times while the engine was running, so don't ever do that. I don't know if it needs to be replaced, but I had my builder tell me some guys turn it around, take it off, turn it around, like, and machine it and put it back on, but he doesn't recommend it, so it's probably something cheap to replace if I need to. So yeah, that's kind of the update on what I'm doing with that. What's missing here is, of course, the I don't know if you want to call it the head cover, and it's got intake manifold on this side, exhaust manifold over here, and then there's a stock pipe that kind of runs up here and goes to the exhaust, and through here and out the side is the exhaust there. So that's all the parts that I was telling you are with my buddy getting blasted, and I'm going to repaint those. I'm thinking kind of a maybe a color tone or color scheme with these blues. You guys let me know what you think. I'm going to try and replace all these graphics. I don't know how far I'm going to get to doing any work with the hole itself, but it definitely needs it. I mean, it's kind of got its, not patina, but, you know, because this stuff don't rust, but, you know, it's got that old look. I might keep some of it. So that is the status on the jet ski, which I don't think I've ever showcased any videos with this on the channel yet. So you guys maybe get to see this running one day. All right, let's go outside and check out the Camaro. All right, out the garage we go to the Camaro. And here she sits. Here's Scarlett sitting here in all her glory. Let's see, what are some updates with this car? Pretty sure I've showed you guys the engine before, or what kind of I've done with it. It's going through a little bit of work right now. I tried to, so she hasn't fired up since last summer, so summer of 23, end of summer, probably August-ish. And everything was fine when I broke in the motor, but I still needed to do some fuel mapping with my Terminator X, and I hadn't got around to it yet. But when I came back out here not too long ago, there was some fouling on the plugs, and I don't quite think I was getting any spark. So I'm gonna have to look into my MSD Blaster SS and see what's going on. But the motor more or less is still the same from, you know, when I left. Header pipes from, I think those are hookers, but they were just black painted. They're getting pretty rusty, so those aren't lasting at all. The only downside to bringing a car across continents is you have to ship it on a boat, and it takes a couple months. And what happens when you take a classic car that is not painted and pretty more or less just primered, you end up with surface rust starting to come back. Here's the quarter that still needs to be replaced with all of the corrosion that's down here. Trying to work with some Italians to help me out because I'm not the best at machine work with metal. So the reason the car is up here on jacks is, one, Not too long ago, I was looking at the wheels and the brakes and kind of taking them off and giving them some love, cleaning them up. You know, brakes are important for a car, so I was making sure that those were still good to go, and whatever surface rust or corrosion was starting, I was making sure it was getting rid of. Underneath the car here, I am doing some work with the 12 bolt, and everything is out of it right now because I am replacing the gears. I opened it up and found my gearing. I opened it up and found my gearing was it was a 411, 410, 411, which is not going to be so good for doing anything probably but drag racing. I don't have the original Turbo 400 in it anymore. It's sitting over here in the garage waiting to get rebuilt, which I'll probably throw into another car or do something with later on. But that's not in there because, of course, you know, I have the Tremec T56 6-speed in there. So I'm looking forward to putting some better highway gears in there. I have some 373s. I was not battling, but I was trying to decide between 373 and 355s. I liked how conservative the 355s were in a way, but when I was looking at comparisons, the 373s really had had a little bit more acceleration power, and it kind of just felt more alive from these comparison clips I was reviewing. So I decided to go with those. What's over here in the garage is my axle shafts. When I took these out, I thought they would have been okay initially, but after further review, there was just some minor, I don't know if you guys can see this, if my gimbal stops being weird. There was just some minor kind of pitting here where the bearing sits. And in my experience, or from what I've learned, you know, if there's any kind of pitting starting, that means your bearings are soon to fail or we're about to fail. And it's probably just err on the side of caution to replace them. And when you do the bearings and they've already pitted the axle shafts, I just replaced them both. But other than that, they look pretty good. I don't know if there's ever any machining done that I can do to kind of refurb these. You guys let me know if there is. But what else is sitting here is the main caps. And of course I have my pinion and my gear. This is my stock, I think it's Eaton limited slip differential here. Probably gonna keep that and just replace the gear. That's what is going on, and I have some new parts over in the garage. My axle shafts came from Strange Engineering, and the gears that I got, 373s, came from Moser Engineering. So I have those, and I'll be installing those as well. I'll do some videos of that. Other than that, that's everything that's been going on in the last couple years. So stick with me, and promise more content's coming soon. So I know you guys are probably upset about the Z01 being gone, and I know I am too, but you know, you have to make these hard decisions in life sometimes, whether it's having kids, whether it's your finances, whether it's whatever, you name it. We can't hold on to everything. So she had to go. She's doing good. I still got Scarlett, so everything is all okay. Still got one Camaro. But that's all the update I have for you guys right now. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I will see you guys later.